Wednesday, 25th March 2020, I addressed the nation and announced a couple of measures to ensure we contain COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus disease. In my address, I announced the following measures. 1. That the Zambian mission abroad and the Department of Immigration must be alert to reviewing the issuance of visas for people wanting to travel to Zambia, as well as at all ports of entry. 2. That travelers will be allowed entry into Zambia, but those who exhibit symptoms will be quarantined in a medical facility for treatment, while all other travelers without symptoms will be quarantined for at least 14 days at their own cost. 3. That government has suspended non-essential foreign travel, particularly to countries which have confirmed COVID-19 cases. 4. That public gatherings such as conferences, weddings, funerals, and festivals are to be restricted to not more than 50 people, subject to them complying with public health authority guidelines. 5. That restaurants must operate only on a takeaway and delivery basis. 6. That all bars, nightclubs, cinemas, gyms and casinos must close. 7. And that all international flights to and from Harimanga Nkumbula, Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe, and Fuwe international airports are suspended. Instead, all international flights should land and depart from Kenneth Kaunda International Airport only, to ensure efficient and effective screening of travelers, as well as following them up by our health authorities. Countrymen and women, while these measures have had positive impact in addressing COVID-19, I'm also alive to the fact that the measures have had serious negative impact on our people's lives and livelihoods. During this period, and on each passing day, I have been spending sleepless nights as I think about that woman in Chilenji who sells chikanda and groundnuts by the street, that Baba in Chiwempala, and that young lady who plaits hair in Mazabuka at a salon. With the coming into effect of the measures I announced in my last address on COVID-19, our people's livelihoods, and indeed those of many others, have been adversely affected. I am fully aware that many Zambians are not earning their usual income because businesses have been disrupted, while others are not working because their workplaces have closed due to COVID-19. I'm aware that some of you have been saying we would rather die from COVID-19 than die from hunger, but I advise you to choose life. Please choose life. I'm also alive to the fact that during this period, the economy has not performed well. For instance, the kwacha rapidly deteriorated from around 13 kwacha 15 ngwe before COVID-19 to now around 19 kwacha to a US dollar. This means that the national budget has equally depreciated by a similar margin, and as a consequence, allocations to ministries, provinces, and other spending agencies have been thrown into disarray. Countrymen and women, while the measures I announced could have had negative effects, they also have yielded positive results in mitigating the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. In this regard, we must all pay tribute to the multi-sectoral frontline workers, because without their courage, valor, and patriotism, the carnage would have been beyond our control. Despite many of us tending to express ourselves too much and publicizing ourselves too much and trying to be the heroes of our nation, COVID-19 has shown and taught us that an integrated, coordinated, non-sectoral response which cuts across all boundaries of any form, across political divide, creed, race, or color, can yield desired results. As we pay tribute to our frontline workers of different disciplines, such as doctors, nurses, police officers, border control personnel, and cleaners, among others, we must also ensure that they are protected and availed personal protective equipment, PPEs, so that we do not endanger their lives while they are saving our lives. Clearly, the victories we have scored in the recent past as a nation are anchored on unity of purpose among all players towards the war against COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, we lost a young man who was full of life, an enterprising businessman to COVID-19. My heartfelt condolences go out to his family. Our health workers did what they could, but unfortunately, he could not make it. May his soul rest in peace. Countrymen and women, let me draw your attention to today's statistics about COVID-19 pandemic in Zambia. Today, 17 patients have been discharged, and out of 82 tests conducted in the last 24 hours, no new positive cases have been reported in the last 24 hours. This marks the 7th consecutive day with no new positive case recorded in Zambia. Therefore, our cumulative numbers are as follows. Total number of COVID-19 cases recorded in Zambia remain at 39, with 1 death, 24 discharges. Currently, 14 patients are admitted, among them 2 on the Copper Belt. All patients under quarantine or isolation are stable, except for a 74-year-old man whose condition has been unstable. The Ministry of Health is currently investigating a suspicious death that occurred in the University Teaching Hospital on Thursday, 8 April 2020, and government will revert with further information on this particular case. Countrymen and women, the major threat to our response is complacence. There is clear evidence from other countries that after a period of 0 recordings of COVID-19, there is always a possibility of resurgence of cases, particularly when control measures are relaxed. There is still an opportunity to sustain these gains that we have attained to date and preserve the country's health security by scaling up interventions that have proven to be effective, such as the ones we have instituted in our country. Countrymen and women, arising from the successes recorded in the last 2 weeks, I now extend the period of the current measures to another 2 weeks, depending on how the pandemic evolves. Countrymen and women, the following personal and social behavioral conducts must be adhered to by all citizens in addition to those I announced a fortnight ago. 1. All citizens are advised to ensure that they wear face masks at all times, particularly in public places such as markets, buses, bus stops, and shopping malls. 2. All citizens are reminded to practice high levels of personal hygiene, like washing or sanitizing hands frequently. 3. All citizens are reminded to cover their mouths with a flexed elbow when coughing. 4. All citizens are reminded to use tissue when sneezing and carefully dispose of it in a bin. 5. All citizens are reminded to avoid touching their faces and not to shake hands. 6. All citizens are reminded to observe social distancing every time and everywhere while limiting movements. Please stay home in order to stay safe. Countrymen and women, let us clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces. Let us, if possible, stay at home, and most of all, let us practice social distancing. I know that we have poorly adhered to social distancing based on many reasons, including socio-economic factors. So if we cannot stay apart from each other as prescribed by the health experts, for example, in minibuses and markets, please ensure that you use face masks as a minimum standard. Countrymen and women, besides human-to-human transmission, as recently observed in our country, it has been noted after medical analysis that the next threat of the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic is dependent on how we manage businesses among our borders with regard to cross-border traders, truck drivers, and travelers in general. Efforts must be put in place to ensure that we strictly monitor all our borders and systematically screen, test, and quarantine all incoming travelers in a coordinated or multi-sectoral manner. Countrymen and women, Cabinet has approved a contingent budget for COVID-19, and I would like to appeal to all ministries, provinces, and spending agencies to strictly adhere to the provisions of the Public Finance Act in the application of the resources being appropriated. In this regard, I hereby direct all controlling officers to work closely with the Controller of Internal Audit and the Auditor General to properly account for these resources. I would like to caution all ministries and provinces, and indeed other spending agencies, to ensure that these resources are put to good use. Cabinet Office should streamline cost centers and provide direction by way of aligning resources to the COVID-19 contingent programs and budget. All COVID-19 resources, whether in kind or in monetary form, from cooperating partners as well as well-wishers, must be integrated and coordinated into the Ministry of Health's COVID-19 programs and budgets. As the Ministry implements the provisions of the Public Health Act and Statutory Instrument number 21 and number 22. I expect all ministries which are major cost centers to prioritize beneficiaries of these resources above everything else, and these include the welfare of frontline personnel, purchase of medical supplies, and public protective equipment, logical support to assist in the enforcement of measures and other matters that will enable us achieve our objective of winning this battle against COVID-19. Countrymen and women, in view of the current impact of COVID-19 on the economy, my government is implementing the following measures as an initial intervention. 1, the government has released 2.5 billion kwacha to reduce domestic arrears owed to domestic suppliers of goods and services. The money also includes the reduction on outstanding arrears to pensioners under public service pension fund and retirees who are claimants under the Ministry of Justice. It will also reduce outstanding third-party arrears and other employee-related commitments. My heart bleeds to see pensioners in misery at various ministries waiting in vain to get their dues. I hope this disbursement will cushion their pain. I'm also aware that some chancers and dishonest people have taken advantage of this situation and also line up to be paid. I'm afraid he will not be considered because this money is for genuine retirees. Insisting on getting money you are not entitled to will end you in jail. 2, government has released 140 million kwacha to pay local contractors in the road sector. These resources will ensure that Zambian contractors and suppliers are not thrown out of business. 3, government has removed provisions of Statutory Instrument number 90 relating to the claim of VAT on imported spare parts, lubricants, and stationery. 4, further, the Bank of Zambia has taken measures to encourage use of digital financial services and mobile transaction services. 5, more importantly, the Bank of Zambia has provided a 10 billion kwacha line of credit to banks that may face liquidity challenges and revoked statutory instrument for classification and provisioning of loans. I direct the Minister of Finance to ensure Priority is given to small and medium-scale enterprises, SMEs, that are adversely affected by the impact of the COVID-19. The benefits of this move should go to businesses such as schools, gymnasiums, restaurants, bars, and nightclub owners whose businesses have been halted and have sent their workers home. Commercial banks are obliged to give them loans at an affordable rate to enable their businesses to survive. Countrymen and women, in conclusion, please let us not break the rules at the expense of our lives. Let us not endanger our families. Those whose employers have said, stay home, do not report for work, stay home. Meanwhile, we shall keep on reviewing the situation day by day as the COVID-19 pandemic evolves. Let me take this opportunity to thank faith-based organizations such as churches and mosques who have told their congregants to pray from home. I would also like to thank my cabinet for working in a coordinated and organized manner. Finally, I would also like to thank cooperating partners, the private sector, private individuals, and others who have immensely donated finances and logistics to Zambia. Lastly, but not the least, let me also thank the media for sensitizing the public on the COVID-19 pandemic, and you, the Zambian people, for your support, cooperation, and unity as we together fight this war. May I take this opportunity to also wish you all a blessed Easter weekend. May God bless you all, and I thank you.